It's 935 K-Day's Morning Show with your boy Romeo, and this is family right here, man. I'm so excited to have you tap in with me. The coach of the LA Clippers just signed his extension. Ty Lue in the building. What's up, fam?
What's going on?
Man, you already know what it is, man. It's an honor to sit down with you. Shouts out to Harriet. Because, you know, she connected us years ago. Funny story, when you won the first championship with the Lakers, she was like, you know that's your cousin, right? And she gave me your number, and I remember calling you, and I don't know if it was at a dinner. It was loud in the background, bro. I don't know if you were at a dinner or what, but we got a chance to connect briefly. And then, of course, I remember that phone call, but after that, we didn't really connect too much because your journey continued, and so did mine. But here we are, still in L.A., You're the coach of the Clippers. Congratulations on your extension. And how excited are you about getting into the Intuit Dome?
Yeah, I'm very excited. First of all, I just want to, say thanks to Lawrence Frank and Mr. Balmer, just like I said, getting that extension, having belief in me, which is huge. But getting to our own arena, having our own place, our own sanctuary is going to be huge, And so Mr. Balmer, when he first took over the team, he said that was one of his goals, that was one of his plans, and he executed it. And so I just can't wait to get in when we finally get a chance to play our first game.
Balmer is a boss, and I love the way he's so engaged in the games, man. He is like a fan of his own team. And that says a lot about ownership right there alone. So I can understand why you love being with that organization. But I think about your career, and I've never had a chance to tell you this, man, how proud I am. Just think about what you've done, right? When you grew up, did you know that you wanted to actually be a coach? Because you knew you wanted to play basketball, right?
Hell no.
So when did the coaching even just kick in with you?
I mean, as a kid, you're on the court and you count down 3, 2, 1, taking the last shot.
Yeah.
You're not counting down 3, 2, 1 and say I'm coaching that play. So everybody wants to be a player. But when I played in 2003 for Doc Rivers in Orlando,
Yeah.
he told me back then, he said, listen, when you're done playing, you can come coach with me. I was like, hell no, I ain't gonna be no coach and deal with these knuckleheads like me. Like, no way. In 2009, I was done. That was my last year. I called Doc up and I said, listen, I think I want to try this coaching thing. And then the next day, right away, him and Danny Ainge, they had a job for me. The first year and a half, he just kind of let me figure out what I wanted to do, how I wanted to approach it, get the player out of me.
Yeah.
And I grew. I learned from, Doc. I learned from Tom Thibodeau. He was doing the defense. I learned from Lawrence Frank, who was doing the defense at the time left. And I just kind of just slowly grew. But I never thought that I would be a coach, So, shout out to Doc for just having that belief in me.
Well, first of all, I think it takes a special person to go from player to coach because you got to have patience. And then again, like you say, you know what you're about to deal with because you've been in that zone. You know what I mean?
I think it's easier for guys like me who are role players. Like, we have the patience because we're not great players, So if you got a guy like Michael Jordan, or, guys like, LeBron and, all these all-stars that trying to coach, they don't have the patience because they're great players. And so they think all players should be able to do what they do.
Yeah.
And so that's the disconnect comes. But, you got to have patience. Like you said, that's the number one thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think about, look, with the Lakers, you won championships. Then you go play with Michael Jordan. And then you coach LeBron James. I mean, you've tapped into some of the most greatest things ever in NBA. Have you ever had a chance to sit back and just reflect on that?
Yeah, I have. I mean, just being blessed. As a kid, come from Mexico, Missouri, like I always talk about, always give praise about, small town of 11,000 people.
Yeah.
We call it one way in, no way out. So, I mean, just having a chance to play with, like you said, Shaq and Kobe, then going to play, with Michael Jordan, was huge. Then coaching LeBron, and you have four of the greatest of all time that I had a chance to actually play with and connect with. And so I learned a lot from each guy, from each person. They always ask me who's the GOAT between, Jordan and LeBron. And, I answer that question because they both touched my life in different situations and helped me to be who I am today. And so they're both, unbelievable, players. They're both, to me are the greatest, those two together. And so they also all meant a lot to me. Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, and Jordan, so they all meant a lot to me.
Man, not many can say that they've played with them, coached them, all of that. But look, I want to ask you a different question because I've heard that Kobe never turned it off in practice. We saw what Michael Jordan was, even with the Olympic team, right? How he just went at Magic Johnson and their squad. So who was probably the one that never turned it off at all between those three? Kobe,
Jordan, and LeBron, all three of them.
Really?
And that's why That's why they're the greatest. Just coaching LeBron, he made me a better coach because, like I said, I took over, and as an assistant coach, you always think like, I want to be a head coach, I can do that. But till you actually slide over that next seat, you
Yeah.
really don't know. I thought I'd be a coach that would sit down the whole game and like Phil Jackson and just kind of orchestrate. But seeing our team and who we had, I had to stand up and I had to coach more. But LeBron is a guy that in practice he does everything full speed. So we're
Yeah.
going through plays, we're going through defense. You don't never have to worry about him messing around. Like he's going to do everything full speed. So when you get into the game, it's going to be the timing of how we're supposed to execute everything. And he made my job a lot easier because if you got your best player, the best player in the world, going hard, going 100%, the other
Yeah.
guy got to fall in line. And that's exactly how Kobe and Jordan was. Like they wanted to kill you in practice, they want to kill you in pitching, they want to kill you whatever it was. It was something to do.
Yeah.
Anything competitive, they wanted to win. And
Yeah.
so you can see that those similarities in all three guys.
Well, leading by example is a beautiful thing, and all three of them definitely did that. So I want to ask you a question. This whole Laker thing with Dan Hurley, I know you're on the outside, you got your own thing, but just as a fan and someone that's played for the Laker organization, is this something that would fit, you think?
Yeah, I think Dan's a great coach. Just having a chance to watch him the last couple of years at UConn, the
Hmm.
job he's done. And I know who turned me on to watching him was our president, Lawrence Frank. Like just talking about all the good stuff he ran in college and how hard they ran it, how he ran it with pace.
Yeah.
He does a good job. Like just watching him throughout this tournament this year and just seeing, how he picked teams apart, how they played, how he executed out of timeouts. He did a lot of great things. And so I don't think it would be a bad hire at all.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that plays out. So I've been to some of the games where, you're coaching, and I see you standing, and I'm just like, what's running through my family's mind? Like when your team makes a 20-point run, or when the opposite teams make this big run on you, and I just see you on the sideline, it's like, how do you keep that composure? Because part of me would be like, yo, what are we doing? You know what I mean? How do you keep that composure? Because you deal with so many different personalities and egos. I mean, Paul George, a beast. Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, he's unstoppable. Terrence Mann is the man. I love what he does. So how do you deal with all of that?
Yeah, I think coaching is more about, managing egos and personalities more so than X's and O's.
Yeah.
Like we have four guys on our team that were number one options on their teams at some point in their career. You had Russell Westbrook, you had, James Harden, you had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And
Yeah.
so you're dealing with those four personalities trying to get those guys to buy into what you're selling. I give those guys a lot of credit. They all sacrificed, they all did what it took to try to win. Unfortunately, like you said, Kawhi getting hurt, that was hard on us. But
Yeah.
I like to just try to keep my composure. If we're up, down, just staying the same way, staying level headed. Because if you overreact, your team's gonna overreact. They're gonna panic, and so now you look around and you forget about the moment and what the task at hand because you're worrying about the referees or you're worrying about turning the ball over or whatever. Like just stay focused and stay in the moment, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah. So when we think about family, we talk about family. Obviously, you and I are connected on my father's side. Now we got to talk about Jason Tatum, who's
Yeah.
part of the family. So when I think about Jason Tatum with Boston, I think about Kyrie Irving, who you've coached. Who would probably have a better chance at getting the MVP of the series based on how it's going thus far?
Well, it all depends on who wins,
Right.
But I think, like I said, Lil J has a great chance of winning MVP. Just his game has matured, and he's matured so much as a player over the last couple of years of just not thinking about scoring, 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 like
Yeah.
not being the best scorer, but trying to be the best player, And so being able to make the right reads, make the right passes. He's always been a great rebounder, but scoring the basketball, being efficient. And like he's gotten better and better. And like you saw last night, like he wasn't trying to force the issue or press the
No,
issue.
not at all.
Guys were shrinking, they were showing body, showing help, and he was getting off of it, making the right play. And Kyrie, like I've always talked about, like no offensive weaknesses. He's dynamic. He had a slow game yesterday, but he's one thing about him, he's not afraid of the moment. And when
No.
he has that game, he's always going to bounce back and he's going to be incredible. So both of those guys, you'll say have opportunity. Jaylen Brown has been playing really well. He's been really good. And then, like, of course, Luka's Luka.
Yeah,
So
look, yeah.
any four of those guys can win, Finals MVP.
Definitely a fun series. I'm looking forward to you making history and getting the Clippers to the NBA Finals because I look at what you have on paper, your squad, and I know the runs you guys make when you're healthy, what you're capable of doing. So with that being said, Intuit Dome is about to jump off. You got your own building now. What kind of weight is that off the team's shoulder knowing you don't have to play in the house that Shaq or Kobe built? You know what I mean? Because now you got your own.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with that because Shaq and Kobe made me. So that was always good. When you see the
Yeah.
band hanging up there, everybody gets mad. I'm like, well, damn, I was part of two of those, So, it's not a bad thing for me. But for the Clipper organization, like I said, me being the head coach of the Clippers, like, it's always good to have your own home,
Yeah.
And so, when you go to the facility, you can leave your shoes there, you can leave your clothes there, you can leave your toiletries there. You don't have to pick up and go every time, the game's over.
Yeah, it's almost
So,
like it's at a away game sometimes.
yeah, like, and so when you go into the arena, we're the third on the list. It's the Kings, it's the Lakers, then us. And so that's why we played, I think, maybe 3 times more early games or afternoon games than any other team in the NBA because Lakers get the first choice, Kings get they get the choice, and then we're third. And so we always got a bad schedule. And so having our own arena, having, our own fans, that when they come to the games, we know it's our fans coming to the arena and supporting us, and it just feels good. And so I'm just glad that, like I said, Mr. Ballmer, finally got it done, and it's here.
Yeah, and that whole fan section that you guys have set for your man, I think that is so dope, so creative to do that. That's like thinking way ahead of the game right there. So, congratulations on what you've accomplished, man. And I'm just proud of you, bro. It's like I know we don't talk a lot, but when I do text you or when we do kind of go back and forth, I'm like, my man's still in the game doing it. Like, I'm just proud of you, man. I just want to say congratulations.
I appreciate it. And Chrissy told me to tell you hello too. I saw Chrissy. I was walking in last week. She was here in Vegas.
Okay.
And she was walking from Aria, from Vidara to Aria, and I'm walking the same way.
Yeah.
And I looked at Chrissy, what the hell are you doing? Oh, I didn't know you was in town, cousin. Like, I came, we playing slots and whatever. So I invited him over. We had lunch and everything. So she told me to tell you hello. For sure.
That's dope. I appreciate that. I'm going to be there next month because DJ Cassidy will pass the mic. He's doing a whole residency at Planet Hollywood Resort. So I'm going to be in town for that. It's every weekend in July. I'm going to hit you up, man, because I'm talking about Warren G, Too Short, Ghostface Killer, Wu-Tang. Like, it's going to be dope. I promise you.
We leave July 11th for the Olympics. So
I think you're going to be there on the 5th or 6th maybe?
Yep, I'll be there 5th, 6th for sure.
Okay, I think I'm supposed to be there that weekend, the first weekend it jumps off. That's right, because you're leaving for the Olympics. That's right. Yeah. Are you excited about that?
I am. I'm excited, man. Just having a chance to, like I said, coach with, with Steve Kerr, with Spo, Mark Few, and then the players that we have.
And get to share those.
Last year, it was a good experience for me.
Get to share those stories that you on the road, what y'all deal with. You know what I mean? I would love to hear what Steve Kerr had to say about Draymond Green. That dude's a character right there. I love him. He's modern day Rodman to me, but I love my man on the court, though, for real.
I mean, he's a bad dude, man. Like, just what he brings every single night to have that passion. And, he reminds me a lot of Russell Westbrook. Like, they bring it every single night. Like, it's not one night where they're not going to give 110%. Like, every single night, that's what they're bringing. And so some people can take it in a bad way, but like when you have that passion, when you have that fight every single night and the intensity brings, and that team needs it, And so, so people just kind of misunderstand Draymond, but he's a bad dude.
He's a bad dude, and he's a role player. Like you said, you were a role player. You made the shots when you had to make them. You guarded who you needed to guard it to make sure the team gets what they want out of it. So I applaud you for that. Man, thanks again for the time. I appreciate it. I'm going to pass the mic to my girl, Letty, Power 106. She got love for your whole career, bro. You have no idea.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it, Cutting.
All right. We'll talk real soon, all right?
All right, for sure.